Hello YouTube, this is the Florida Rider, stuck in beach traffic on a wonderful summer evening. For this month's installment of my travel series, I thought I'd tell you about my first time abroad and try not to get killed on the roundabout. Okay, so the first time I ever traveled to a place that was not Canada, because Canada is technically abroad, I was with an Australian girl named Haley, and we had taken an overnight flight from Newark to London. Can't remember whether we landed at Heathrow or Gatwick, but it doesn't really matter. I think it might have been Gatwick. And she and I were staying with friends of her friends in a just for the first few nights when we got there, so that we could figure things out, because the person we were staying with had to work and all, but they did offer us their couch to sleep on, and and guidance and this and that as far as like bus information, etc. So we were glad to have it. And Haley and I, we are very good friends. We still keep in touch to this day, although I haven't heard from her in a while. I might need to email her. And we had a lot of fun together. Well, we have a lot of fun together, I should say. We always have, and hopefully in the future always will. Our first trip to London had us on the London Underground, which is the London subway. The map is a little bit confusing, but I'm pretty good at reading maps, so it wasn't too much of a problem. And she's a very spontaneous person, and we were trying to find some place, but we were standing on the side of the platform waiting for the train to come. And I'm looking at the map, and I'm tracing the route with my finger and everything, and the train arrives. So she gets on the train, and I follow her, and I said, and this means we need to get off this train. And then, bam, she flies out the door. The bell sounds, the door is closed, and I'm stuck on the train. It was hilarious, because people knew that we were clearly not from England by the way we speak. And people on the platform were laughing at her, people on the train were laughing at me, and we were laughing at each other. And she made hand signals to say, okay, I'll wait here for you. And so then I went to the next stop, and I got off and took the train back in the other direction and met up with her again, and we just about died laughing. And we still laugh about that today. And she and I were sort of jet-lagged, and we weren't the most observant people also, so one time we went to a place called Marble Arch. That was the underground stop as well. And so we're walking out of the underground station, and we're walking up the stairs going to the the street level and everything, and we're saying, I wonder why they call this place Marble Arch. And she said to me, gee, I don't know. And so I looked around, and I'm like, Haley, turn around, and there's this huge marble arch behind us, and we're like, oh yeah, that's a good reason. And I believe it was our third day. It was raining and raining and raining. It was probably like 60 degrees, and it was a very British day, so to speak. And mind you, this was in June. And we had gotten a late start because we were still a bit jet-lagged and everything, and we got to the train station and we were both cold. And so we went out and we went to a museum, and then we went to a bar for the rest of the day. No, okay, it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so. But we did go to a museum first, and then we just said, you know what, I don't want to traipse around in the cold anymore, and we decided that we'd just, go to a bar for the rest of the day. Well, not the rest of the day, for an hour or two, and then take the train home. Oh, the good old days. Haley ended up settling in England until about 5 years ago when she and her family moved back to Australia. Even though I was living in Germany, we would still see each other once every other year or so, just because life happens and, people grow apart, and that's just the way it is. She will always be one of the best people I've ever traveled with. Just because we had so much fun together, we never argued once. Yeah, it was just a really, really good friendship. We were only ever friends. We never dated or anything like that. Absolutely never. But we were sort of like best friends, best travel buddies. I'm not really sure what you would call us, but it was a lot of fun. And if I ever get down to Australia, or if she ever comes back to the USA, of course we'll get together again. It's not looking very likely though. But you never know. Someday it could happen. So, what about you? What was your first time abroad like? And I'm not talking about Canada for those who live in the USA. Perhaps you went with some friends, or perhaps you went alone. I'm not really talking about a family trip either, but the type of trip where you had to go ahead and learn everything for yourself. You had to figure out how the subway worked, you had to figure out the currency, you had to figure out most of the intricacies of traveling abroad. I'm looking forward to hearing about it, and of course you can always make a video reply to me. Anyway, this is the Florida Writer signing off. Goodbye.